Today's games that I will be reviewing are EverQuest and Call of Duty BlackOpsZombies. This is my first playthrough of EverQuest, and normally games take around 2 or 3 hours to download on my PC, but this game took around 6 hours to download. And I was very excited to play it because it seems like a very old game. So I thought it was interesting to, compare it to games that I've played before. And I think that the character creation has definitely evolved since the older games, since this is one of the older games. But this game has a pretty good selection of races and classes. And in the races, there were ogres, elves, there was a frog-type creature, a beast-type creature. In my first playthrough, I picked the wood elf, but unfortunately, the game server crashed. So, the second time I went through the character creation, I decided to pick the beast creature instead. And I thought it was funny that the beast creature wears clothing. And I chose the female character, and her outfit is very skimpy, which is kind of, the type of, which is very reminiscent of older games, usually geared towards men. Additionally, for the class selections, it depended on what race that you picked, which was very interesting because for the wood elf that I had picked earlier on, I was able to pick druid as my class. But for the beast class, for the beast race, I didn't have that option, so I chose the berserker class instead. The actual playthrough of the game was very difficult because there was a lot of writing on every single aspect of the game. You had to learn essentially what letters on the keyboard corresponded with movement or opening your inventory or things like that, which was pretty difficult to do at once. So, as you watch my game, you'll see that I'll get stuck on the wall a lot and have trouble figuring out why my attacks weren't hitting the jailer. And it turns out that you have to go up close to him in order for your attack to register. Typically, whenever I play these types of games, if you click the attack, then your character will automatically move up to the creature. The second game that I played was Call of Duty BlackOpsZombies, and since the release of the original games, there have been many updates, such as the inclusion of gobblegums, which is a really interesting feature where there is a candy machine that you can open at every single round. And it randomly shoots out a different gobblegum, which has different attributes, such as all of the windows will be boarded, or you'll get insta-kill, things like that. This game is really fun because the premise of it is basically just to survive as long as you can, and you can also compete with the other 3 people that you're playing with for the highest scores, and it rates you based on the highest kills, your headshots, how many revives you've done, and it also counts how many times that you get down too, which factors into your overall score in the game. Occasionally, you'll notice that the players' characters in-game will talk to each other, and their dialogue hints at the lore of the game itself, which is really fun. Each of the characters are very different as well. The first character is a American, and this game tends to play on stereotypes a little bit, where the American is like the tough guy, and he's very loud and bossy. The second character is Russian, and he's also very strong-willed. The third character is Takeo, and he's a Japanese character. And finally, the last character is the scientist, who is arguably the most interesting character among the four, who, as you'll find out through playing through the different maps, that he is the one of the scientist contributors into how the zombies were created. And his daughter Samantha was actually caught up in the experiment somehow, and whenever you hit the weapons box a certain amount of times, her voice will laugh, or whenever the dogs are released, she'll send them out in a demonic voice. Whenever I play this game, I used to play with my cousins or my friends, but in this case I played with a bunch of random people, and normally the other players are very friendly and helpful because the goal is to survive as long as possible, and your survival rate increases if everyone in your team helps out.